And we're on the general journal. We're still in challenge problem 10-5. We're going to focus on these transactions where we granted credit, where we bought supplies on account and store supplies, where we returned merchandise, and then again when we granted credit. I would say the biggest challenge in the general journal, besides the fact that they're all multiple, sometimes 2, sometimes 3 line entries, the biggest challenge is knowing whether we're using accounts payable and accounts receivable. So I thought that I would just kind of make a note of that. Couple of ways that we could know it. One, we could know that if it refers to a sales invoice, it's definitely accounts receivable. We wouldn't have purchased merchandise with a sales invoice. We purchase merchandise from accounts payable with a purchases invoice. We sell merchandise to customers with a sales invoice. So Slippery Rock Inn is an accounts receivable. And if you want me to do it, I will go ahead and I will just say this is AR. I also know that whenever I grant credit, I'm talking about sales, returns, and allowances. So we're talking accounts receivable, we're talking sales, returns, and allowances. And if I needed to, I would also be talking about sales, tax, payable. Now, I put these in no particular order right now, and I guess I do want to make a point that really we like to put our debits first. So accounts receivable is the last line of this entry. Why do I know that? Because if I were doing, if I were to do this transaction at the point where I sold the merchandise, I would have had to debit accounts receivable. But since they're returning it, I'm going to credit accounts receivable. Another big hint is the fact that they use the word credit memorandum. So hopefully that's a big hint, because they wouldn't have used a credit memorandum unless you were crediting accounts receivable. So I just wrote that there for you. The dollar amount I'm hoping you can figure out at this point, because obviously the sales, returns, and allowances amount is for the merchandise. The sales tax payable amount is for the sales tax, and the accounts receivable credit is for the total. They were nice and they did it for you. So I don't think we need to see that in a journal. Maybe I'll do it anyway, but I'm trying to keep this video a little bit shorter. The second transaction in the general journal was a memo, and this is throwback to accounting 1. Bought $120 worth of store supplies on account from Mosby Store Supplies. They are definitely my accounts payable. So I'm going to just come in front of this and say account/payable. And then I also know that whenever I have store supplies, I'm underlining it, is going to be my debit to store supplies. So credit to accounts payable. Again, this is, accounting 1. You did this in accounting 1, credit to accounts payable. So this is just a 2-line entry. We really pretty much can ignore this, because the only time we care about the terms, I'll strike it out, is when we pay them, and we're not paying them, we're buying. Okay, so 2-line entry for the 4th. On the 8th, same thing. No, don't know what else to tell you. Accounts payable, Office Mart is your credit, debit to office supplies. That's it. The next one on the 10th is returned $260 of the merchandise purchased, number 92, to Ford Collectibles. I bet you can guess. Ford Collectibles is definitely an accounts to be paid. So this transaction undoes the purchases journal. Why do I want to know that? Because I want to know that how is the entry going to look? Let me just come down here and show you. Obviously, accounts payable will be my debit because it's a debit memorandum, and I'm returning merchandise. So it's going to be purchase, returns, and allowances is going to be my credit. Why? Because at the time I purchased it, purchases was the debit, purchases, returns, and allowances is the contra account. We would credit purchases, returns, and allowances when we return merchandise. And then the last one is just like the first one, granted credit. It just says that the merchandise was damaged. So I wasn't going to do the general journals. I'll wait until I get some emails from all of you that you're a little bit stuck. But pause this video here so you can see at least what the line entry looks like. And if you have questions, send them my way. So that's it. Okay, hope you proved. Thanks. Good luck.